Hello, welcome to the Mainline Godzilla Designs 1954 to 2024 tier list maker. This is made by Synchronize, and it's every design from the Mainline Godzilla films and series from 1954's Godzilla to 2024's Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire. This list includes even alternate versions of designs such as transformations or alternate suits, and, well, it's a really good list, but I added some more. You can tell which ones I added. I just wanted to be a little spicy and provide more hot takes to, well, get my opinions across. A bit of a disclaimer. Just because I rank a suit high doesn't mean that film that it comes from is just as high or just as low. For example, I love Son of Godzilla. I think it's a really good Godzilla movie, one of my favorites. But does the Son of Godzilla suit deserve a high rank? Well, it may not rank as low as other lists. That being said, let's get started. I didn't go with the Godzilla 1954 maquettes. Maybe I should have for consistency, but I did include the proto suit. The proto suit is in the film. It's used for the water scenes, and I like the design enough. I think the 1954 suit that we eventually got is much better proportionally and in ferocity, but this one's a pretty good design. You see some remnants of the maquette with the shorter arms and the stubbier legs and a slightly more proportional head and neck. But if I were to say something I don't like the fins. They look kind of cheap and ugly. But I am going to put it in the, I'll be nice. Actually, no, I'll be adequate and put it in C. Because it's not a bad design, I just think what we got was better, but you can see the in-betweens of like the maquette versus final suit. And for the final suit, big shock, I'm gonna put it in S tier. And the reason for that is not because the movie it comes from is, really good. It is. But the suit has good proportions. All future designs come from this, and it has a good sense of mass. The fins look really great. They have this distinct iconic shape. I love the face. Some behind the scenes shots look kind of weird, but all the shots in the film have that really scary look where his eyes looking down, ooh, just gives me the shivers. It's just when they got the design out the gate finally, had a good sense of mass, good proportions. It looks so good on film. Some shots just, so good. That's why it's going to S tier, because it just looks really good. Unfortunately, we have the 1954 puppet, and let me tell you, I don't like this guy. He's going in D tier. Not only are the proportions out of whack, they actually suit the prototype suit more, but it just doesn't match the 54 suit at all. Had they kept with the proto suit, maybe my feelings would be a bit different, but his lanky arms and his cartoonishly pathetic face, and sometimes his really cartoony but scary face, oh, that's the stuff that gave me nightmares as a kid. It's just inconsistent, and I think the original Godzilla's effects hold up very well, but whenever that damn puppet is used, you can always tell, and that is why he's in the D tier. Coming up, we have the 1955 Godzilla suit, and I think this is an underrated one. I like how it looks in profile. He's slimmer, and the proportions are still okay. Arms are longer, but the legs lack that sense of mass. I like the tail, and I like the more distorted fins, but when viewed from the front or other angles, yeah, doesn't really hold up as well. Funny enough, the X plus of this figure is on the thumbnail for the trailer, and I'm pretty sure became the creepypasta Godzilla 55 meme. But in the actual film, he looks kind of more like a sad creature. But in profile, I think he looks really good. I can't really explain why I like this design. It's just kind of a me thing. But I'm gonna put him in the B tier. Already got the hot takes going. But to be fair, I see why people don't like this design. I really do. This is just me. One I think we can all agree is the 55 puppet is terrible. It looks nothing like the suit. The teeth are jutting out forward. He just looks even more pathetic. There's nothing good about this puppet. It's just really bad. It makes the 54 puppet look way better. At least that one's teeth look right. This one just looks cheap, and since Godzilla Rides Again was a quickie sequel, well, there you go. We have an interesting one here. This is the volcano monster suit made for the 1957 version of Godzilla Raids Again that was planned to be called the Volcano Monsters. What I really find interesting about the suit is that it's like the perfect in-between, because it looks like the 55 suit merged with the 1962 suit. You can see a lot of future Godzilla design traits here. The thicker thighs, the 3 toes, no ears. The head even resembles a 62 suit. There's something about it that just feels like the missing link. You know what I mean? But since we never got to see the suit in action, we'll never really know how it looked on screen. And honestly, it kind of looked a little cheap. But, well, what are you going to do? But you know what? I'll put it in C tier. I kind of have a little fondness for him. But now we get to the 1962 suit. No surprise, this is going to be S tier. I love this design. From the front, he looks kind of weird and kind of like a frog. But he's got a good sense of mass and weight. The proportions are really nice. And this is the start of the Showa era suits, and a lot of the suits are going to take from this, from the no ears to the scaled back side fins. But as is the 1962 suit, this is just like the gold standard. Like, I love this. Do I like it more than the 54? I think the 54 edges out by being truly terrifying on film, whereas 62, he looks kind of cute. Am I the only one? I see it. Do you see it? The 62 puppet, I don't really care for it, but it's the best puppet so far. It at least kind of resembles the mainline suit, so I'll give it a pass. But, you know, it's also used sparingly, and in the trailer shots, you can definitely see how ugly it is, but I don't know. I'm kind of, it's whatever. You know, in film, it's only there for like a moment or two. 1964A. I really like the suit, and this used to be S tier, but I'm gonna put it in A tier. I like the face a lot. The eyes and the expression on this Godzilla and the body language is really good. The only thing I don't like, the lack of mass. This Godzilla is slim and slender, and he's much more reptilian than dinosaurian, if that makes sense. And I don't know how to feel about that. On film, he looks pretty good, but like I can't help but think that like Godzilla's lost a lot of weight from the past couple of years, you know? I still think this is a great look. The head could not be better, and they actually brought back the fangs. They're a little hard to see, but they are in fact there. A lot of people say the fangs disappeared after Godzilla Raids Again, but that's not entirely true. They're just mitigated. They're not as overt. This one is still a really good, iconic, classic Godzilla. The last real menacing Godzilla? Maybe. The 64 puppet is the best puppet, but I'm still not very fond of it. It's still going in D tier. I just never liked these as a kid. I thought they were weird and distracting. But upon hearing that even Sadamasa Arikawa said that they were distracting, but E.G. Tsuburaya said you gotta use it to get the shot, the shot's more important, well, I can see where they're coming from. At least this one mostly matches the suit in spirit, but what are you gonna do? 64B. I'm gonna put this one appropriately in B tier because the changes to the head to make Godzilla look more friendlier, I don't know. Apparently it was done because the head did sustain damage, but the changes make him seem more friendly instead of really menacing, which suits the film, but makes this Godzilla less cool. He's a lot more fun, and granted, it works well with the film. In the context of the film, this is really good, but I kind of miss Godzilla having some of that edge factor. But hey, you know, 64 is a good suit, and it's still in good condition, so we'll just put it in B tier. 64B puppet. I'll just put it right there. I don't like this thing, but it exists. It's there. It's whatever. The 1965 suit. Ooh, this is one of my best friend's favorite Godzilla designs, and I know he's watching. But I'll have it known, it's one of my favorite designs too. I'm gonna put it in A tier. Sorry, Chris, it's not S tier. Please forgive me. But the thing I like about this suit is the head. He's back to being menacing. He's got a good look to him. One of the features of this Godzilla that sticks out to me is like his jaw. He opens his mouth really wide. He's got like a floppy tongue. But the one thing I don't like about the suit that keeps it from being in that S tier rank is, again, he looks really slim and slender. He's only slightly bulkier than the 64 suit, but he doesn't look like he has a whole lot of muscular definition. So I'm just gonna put him in A. Now, the 65 suit, was used in Ebirah Horror of the Deep, but as we see here, we have 66 suit. However, the suit changes. At times it looks still pretty good, but then it kept getting used in water, and it's got this waterlogged look, and throughout the film it just changes and it looks ugly, and you know, it in the moments when it looks good, still A tier, but this is going down here. I'm gonna put it in D tier. I'm sorry. Ugly waterlogged suit. Looks so ragged. I have the 66 puppet, and I don't think this thing's ever shown in the movie. I think it might be in the giant condor scene, but like it's so close and sporadic, you can't really even see it. So I'm just gonna put this in D tier. He looks silly. That's all I can say. The 67 water suit, it's pretty much a refurbished 65 suit. He looks better, but you don't see it enough. I'm gonna put it C tier, D tier. You don't really see it all that much. I'll put it high D tier because he does look kind of creepy, but like you don't really see it that much. The 1967 suit. This is everyone's least favorite Godzilla suit, but not mine. You know what? I'll actually put him in C tier because some shots look really good. The main thing I like about this Godzilla, he's got a good sense of size and mass, and the added height really does help, and he looks more like a dad. I think that was the intent. He was made to have a contrast with Minya, and Hiroshi Sakita plays Godzilla predominantly in this one because the suit was so big, and I like that sense of mass. It's just, from the front, Godzilla looks terrible. And yeah, this is an ugly design, though I don't think it's the worst Godzilla design ever. Again, I mean, look at what we got here. I think the waterlogged 66 suit looks way worse. Like, it just looks so like just ugh. At least 67. I think the 67 suit looks good, the little baby hands notwithstanding though. Now this is peak performance. This is kind of hard because I mean, the 68 suit does change movie to movie, but I kind of like them all. If I were to rank them like this, I'd put, okay, 68 S tier, 69 A tier, 71 A tier, 72 S tier. And let me explain this for a moment. The proportions on this Godzilla are great. He's got a good sense of mass, he's got a good sense of weight, he doesn't look too slender, he's got good musculature, and he looks fierce. One thing I like about the 68 and 72 is that he looks like he means business. Sure, the 72 suit is falling apart, but the eyes, it's the eyes. He looks so cool. Like, when I was a kid, this is the Godzilla of, like, my mind. Like, this is how Godzilla was. This is just what he looked like. I watched Godzilla vs. Gigan so much. So this imposing, fierce, but heroic Godzilla. This is just what Godzilla means to me, man. I will say, these slight alterations for the 1969 suit, they are very minimal. It's just the way it's shot. I don't think Ishiro Honda makes for a good visual effects director. Not bad, just the scaling doesn't look right, but it's in the child's dream, so what are you gonna do? 71 version, it's just the eyes are spaced a little too far, so he looks a little goofy, but he does have a skeleton hand and he's missing one eye, and there are still some shots where he looks really good and intimidating. So hey, still high quality, you ask me. And we have the water suit. This is just the Son of Godzilla suit, but in the water. I'm just gonna put this right here. Well, no, it still looks better than the 66 suit in the water. I mean, just look at that. It's just a pathetic creature. I'm sorry. And here we have the 73, 74, and 75. This is another iconic look for the Big G. And this is where he looks really cute. He looks really cute here. One thing that is kind of weird to me is that the hands are going to be like really floppy, especially in the 74 and 75. Like, at least 73, the fingers splay out, but like the other two movies, you say bye-bye to that. His proportions are also kind of weird. From the chest up, he looks good, but then he looks kind of squashed at the bottom. Still, I can't help but think that this is a very iconic looking Godzilla design. It's just not one of my favorites, especially coming from the more ferocious 68 suit, but you know, he's still pretty good. I'll put him in B tier. The 74 suit, I think, is slightly better. He's got a more fierce expression. There is one issue though, and this is something you may have never noticed, but they actually moved the fins. If you notice the 73 fins, they go in order how they typically gone, but for 1974, they moved one of the fins up, so now it has this inconsistent pattern. Apparently this was done after Zone Fighter because there was some damage, but it just looks weird. I mean, nobody's probably really paid attention to this, and you gotta be pretty autistic to be noticing that kind of stuff, but I am. But still, this is a really good look for the Big G, and I think the more fierce expression helps this suit stick out a bit more. Those eyes are just better. And here we have the 1975 suit, and I think this one's slightly better just because he looks a little meaner. The head looks a little more aggressive, and it's the last of the heroic Godzillas for quite some time, but he looks like he means business. It's really just that small change that makes him just look cool, and in the movie he does look really cool and fierce, and oh man, what a way for Godzilla to leave, you know? Speaking of Godzilla leaving, we have the water suit, which is the fake Godzilla suit from the last film. This confuses people as to why they were doing this if this was the last Godzilla movie. Well, Terror of Mechagodzilla was not intended to be the last Godzilla film, and you know, as you've seen, they used prior suits for water scenes, but they used the fake Godzilla suit because they thought they were just going to use the other suit for another Godzilla movie, but the series just ended. And fake Godzilla works in the prior film, but not as like the water suit. I think this look is just kind of ugly, but charmingly ugly. Also, the fins on fake Godzilla are more proportioned than the actual 74 suit. But he's kind of like cheap and just really uncomfortable. I'm just gonna put him in right here, D tier. A lot of D tier right now, but it might pick up. Here we have the 78 Hanna-Barbera Godzilla. I don't like it. I've never liked this one as a kid. I don't like it now. I don't like that he's green. Sometimes his proportions looks good, and he does strike a fierce demeanor, but he's green, he breathes fire, he has eye lasers. That's interesting. This is just hashtag not my Godzilla. I know this is an iconic Godzilla for like kids growing up of the era in the 70s and 80s and even the 90s. I saw this on reruns in the 90s and early 2000s, and I just never cared for it. It doesn't even have the roar. He has a good sense of mass depending on like the shot, so I'll give it that. But this is just this is not it. I'm gonna put this in F tier. This is just ugly, and guess what? The ugly Godzillas just keep coming. William Stout's Godzilla for Steve Miner's unmade Godzilla King of the Monsters in 3D.
What is that? What the fuck is that? What is that?
This starts the trend of American designers not getting Godzilla. In fact, they're not going to get Godzilla for quite some time. That's a spoiler for what's coming up. This is the worst Godzilla design I have ever seen in any official capacity. The proportions are terrible. This Godzilla has really lanky legs, he's got weird arms, he's got a horribly ugly face. At least the silhouette does resemble Godzilla, but I don't know. And after hearing what this film was supposed to be like, what the writing was, the story, and how they were gonna treat Godzilla, it's just no. I'm glad this never got made. This is just terrible. This is the worst. This is the worst Godzilla on this list, probably. I hate this one. It's just so bad. There's no personality. The storyboard art looks really good and promising, but I can assure you does not translate to this maquette, the stop motion figure, whatever this is. Horrible. It's a dig against William Stout. He clearly has talent. It's just, this is just not it. This is just the wrong methodology going into designing a Godzilla. A good Godzilla design methodology was the Cybot Godzilla, and I'll include the 84 suit. They're very distinctly different, but you know, they got similar things going on. The Cybot Godzilla has weird proportions, but when he looks good, he looks really good. Kind of like how the Volcano Monsters Godzilla is like the missing link. This Godzilla is the link between the late 70s Godzilla designs and the Heisei designs that would come forward. It's like the perfect merger, but his proportions aren't there. Even on the 84 suit, he's got the Megalon problem where up top, really good. At the bottom, very scrunched. I'm not sure this is because Ken Satsuma, Godzilla's suit actor, it wasn't made for his proportions, but I don't know. The designer of the 1973 through 75 Godzilla suit did the 84 suit design, so I think this is just a consistent problem with it, at least in my opinion. But when these look good, they do look good, but when they look goofy, they look goofy. They're kind of somewhere in between, but I also really love these designs, both of them. To me, growing up, seeing the Cyberot Godzilla everywhere, like that's just Godzilla to me in my mind. Kind of like how the 72 is like, that's the 70s Godzilla, and then the 80s, 90s Godzilla is Godzilla 84. It's just a weird way to think about it. But I'm gonna put them both in A tier.
What?
They're kind of on an equal playing field, honestly. You see the 84 suit more when that one looks good. Oh, chef's kiss.
Well, here we go again.
Now, going into Godzilla 89, we have the main suit, the animatronic, and the water suit. I'm already gonna say it. This water suit, this is ugly. It's probably the best water suit, but it just looks ugly. I don't like it. Animatronic, that's gonna be easy S tier. It's such a great look for Godzilla. And the suit, it's gotta be S tier. The proportions are really good. The suit's really well shot. His fins look great. He's got that fierce, like really badass look. They just got it right. Kawakita and his team, they just nailed it off the bat. Godzillasaurus, I'm gonna put this in a B tier because it's a pretty good standard pre-mutated Godzilla. You see the Godzilla-like features, but he's also got the theropod features too. It's a pretty cool look, but he's nothing really truly special, but still, you know, pretty good. And we have Suit A, Suit B. Suit A is the water suit, but modified, I believe. And I'm just gonna put these in S tier, like, bam, they just look really good. Wait, we have a water suit here. Is this the same as this? Well, still, this one's really good, but you only see it for a little bit, so I'll just put it in A tier, because, again, the 89 and 91 designs, these are, so freaking cool, man. Like, that's Godzilla to me. And if you think I'm being a Heisei shill right now, well, this is where that ends. Because the 92 suit and 92 animatronic, I don't care for this design. The proportions are fine. It's just the face. The cool looking 89 and 91 face with the more feral brown orange eyes is gone. Now he's got his distinct Heisei orange eyes, but like something about the face, he looks off to me. I still think this is like a peak okay Godzilla suit, but it's just like not one I care for. The animatronic face looks better than the suit face, so I'll give it that, but this is just not one design that I especially care for. This is just, I think objectively, like, it's good, it's well made, but I just personally don't care for it. This water suit, this is going down here. He's got the better eyes, but like the proportions, and he's looking a little ragged. I gotta sneeze. Oh my, the 93 suit. This is going in D tier. The animatronic face, I actually like more, so I'll put that in C tier. Actually, you know what? I'll put it in B tier because I do like the animatronic Godzilla head from Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, but that suit, the proportions are way off. Godzilla looks way too weird and stocky, but his legs are thin, and he just, from profile shot, he looks but I do like the improved face. The face looks better than the 92 suit, but those proportions are way off. Apparently this was done to make Godzilla look more maternal because of baby Godzilla. That was just not it. To compare with the 67 suit, which was made to make Godzilla look more paternal, they did a much better job there, in my opinion. That's gonna be a very controversial statement, but you know, maybe, you know, objectively the 93 suit is better constructed, but proportion wise, I'm sorry, this is just not it. And here we have the Stan Winston Godzilla design, and this is where I will probably lose you, but this is going in D tier. I do not like this design. It's better than the William Stout, Steve Miner Godzilla design, but this, no. Would this have been better than Godzilla 98? In terms of silhouette, yes, but in terms of design and mentality, I think it's just as wrong. Proportion-wise, he's fine, although his legs are really weird and thin. He's got some dinosaurian features, but the head looks too crocodilian, and it's just weird. Godzilla's a dinosaur, not a crocodile lizard thing. And this mentality is what kills this look for me. Yes, he looks very fierce, but he still doesn't feel like Godzilla to me. It just feels wrong, and I'm glad it wasn't made. I know that's a real hot take to say, and I'm not saying that for the sake of for spicy content, but I was never really fond of this design, but I do like the silhouette. I'll give it that. I like the fins and I like the tail, but this is just not it, man. Now, to go back to the Heisei era, we have the 94 suit. I'm gonna say this is high A tier. Where am I gonna put it? Oof, this is real. See, this is where it gets really hard, because like, I'll move these up right here, but 94 is good. It's a big improvement over 93. The proportions are way better. Godzilla's face looks better. He looks like the quintessential Heisei Godzilla. His proportions are way better. He's got a good sense of muscle and mass. The only thing I wish is that his fins were more like the 91 Godzillas. This is a spoiler for what we're about to talk about, by the way. But I think this is just like, if we had to pick the 90s Godzilla, this is probably the definitive look for him. And of course I'm gonna get the animatronic. It's on the same level. By this point, the face and the animatronic on the suit and the head, whatever, it just looked one-to-one. They kind of like how the 89 one and 91s were, you know, they were pretty close. Burning Godzilla, which is the 94 suit but modified, this is what I'm talking about. I'm gonna have to put him right there. That's such a great looking Godzilla. This is like, the fins being more like the 89 and 91 Godzilla is just what this design needed. He's got that good proportion, good sense of mass. The fins look much better and more cool looking. They feel proportional. And also, because Burning Godzilla has like those glowing eyes, he looks so fierce and so cool and intimidating. Like, this Godzilla is just one mean looking dude. Also, sometimes he's shot very sympathetically thanks to Ken Satsuma's good performance and what's going on for Godzilla in that moment. So he's not just always mean and cool. Sometimes he has this hint of sadness to him, which I think is a very good thing for Godzilla to have. A sense of awe and fierceness, but also a hint of melancholy is just that sweet spot. Now we have the 1998 Godzilla. As a monster design, this is really good looking. It's got lots of great detail, a very cool look, but for Godzilla, this is not it. I'm gonna have to put this in D tier, and I don't even know where. I'll put it right here because, you know, I mean, objectively, like, it's much better looking than like these hand puppets. And you know, for what it is as a monster, it's still really cool. If this were like the beast from 20,000 Fathoms, and if he was like on all fours, you know, it would be better. Kind of like how Godzilla 98 is more of a beast from 20,000 Fathoms 50s American monster movie rather than a Godzilla movie, but it's a Godzilla design. It's a Godzilla movie. And also, Roland Emmerich did not care for Godzilla. And it's pretty evident that if it was his way or the highway. And this Godzilla design is... it's still controversial. It's got its fans. And I understand, again, great details, a really cool look with like the blues and the browns to match New York skyline. And when he's shot really well, he does look pretty cool, and I do like the eyes and the face and everything, but it's just like, this is just not Godzilla. Again, the mentality of these American Godzilla designs are just, they're missing the mark, and this one's infamously known for missing the mark. But as you can see, I think every American Godzilla design has just missed the mark. As for the animated counterpart, I'm actually gonna put this in B tier, and I'm actually gonna put this in high B tier. This is a special case because I think this design works better in animation, in a 2D animated field. Not only does this Godzilla act more like Godzilla, he's got a green atomic ray, and he's much more of a fighter. Something about this design in 2D works really well, and he just looks so cool. And since he acts more like Godzilla because Godzilla series had more Godzilla fans on board, it's just, hey, maybe this can work. It's still not quite Godzilla, but it's so much closer, and I don't know what it is, but it could also just be the show's really good and this Godzilla's a really cool character. He's characterized really well. Now we have the infamous Godzilla 2000 maquette, This design comes from Shinji Nishikawa, but it's been popularized by Yuji Sakai. I like this look, and my feelings on it are more for like the SH Monsterverse versus the actual how it affects Godzilla in the films and these designs. We never see it on film, and it's, again, a maquette. I brought it here because I thought it'd be interesting to talk about, but I realize I don't have much to say other than you do see a lot more of the King Goji 1962 features in this, and its proportions are pretty solid. It's just, it never made it to film, and it's just there as a stepping stone, and overall, I think it's pretty cool. I'm gonna give this a nice B tier because it's technically not from the films, but it's on a lot of marketing materials. Like, it's on a teaser poster, it's on the Godzilla Final Wars poster. It was made into SH Monster Arts before the 2000 suits were. And this is one of my favorites. I have a hard time pinpointing where this is because it's one of my personal favorites. I'm gonna have to put it right here in S tier, but in the middle, because I do think the proportions aren't quite there. The proportions on the 95 and 89, 91 suits are better, I think. But this Godzilla, just that face, he looks so cool. He looks so intimidating. And this design just reeks of New Millennium. Doesn't it? Doesn't this feel like a very 2000s design? On the same breath, I gotta talk about the Godzilla 2000 suit, the one from Godzilla X Megaguirus, because while they are the same, Shinichi Wakasa noted that 2000 suit was the version he planned on, and the 99 suit was not quite what he wanted. But I think the changes made to the 2000 suit kind of weakened it. I still think this is a really good Godzilla design, and I'm gonna put it in B tier right here. But I don't like how much more green he is, or the more pink spines, and the face just does not look as good. It may look more proportional, but something about that 99 suit with his darker coloration, his more fierce expression, it just, that, I don't know. Am I crazy? I probably am. Here we go, GMK. There we go. You see why it's called 01? It's because it's number 1. I think, bar for bar, this is the best Godzilla has ever looked on the suit on screen. His expressions they are just so good. He looks so angry and terrifying. Those eyes, they're not completely all white. They're technically gray with white irises. Again, being very specific here. But they really sell the image of a terrifying, demonic Godzilla. The proportions, his sense of mass is so good. His arms are nice, and he's got those iguanodon thumbs that they're really cool, and this makes Godzilla look so like he's a fighter. Oh my god, I don't know. This is it. This is peak Godzilla to me. Like, he's terrifying, his proportions are good, he's got a great sense of mass, he's shot really well. Like, this is it. Like, that's the peak right there. Now the 2002, 2003 suits, these are good. These are really good. They have a great expression on them. If the 99 suit was like a modern version of the 1962 suit, the 2002 and 03 suits are like the modern version of like the 64 suit. They have a very similar like eyebrow ridge and eye. That being said, they're a bit on the thinner side, which isn't bad. They look really good and proportions are nice. They just have a more humanoid look to them, so it doesn't feel more like an animal. Godzilla just feels kind of like a weird animal human. Also, in the 2002 suit is very stiff. Godzilla just stands there a lot of the time, and he does a bit better in 2003, but still though, these are really good suits. I'm gonna put them in A tier. Oh my god. See, now we can't even see the bottom here. We're gonna have to be very careful. 2004.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no, man.
Look, I know. My reasoning for this is he's too humanoid. And also, I don't like the rat face. I don't like the paper thin jaw. I like the eyes. I feel like when the eyes, there's like a shadow that goes over them. That looks really good. And this is weird to say, but I like the hands and claws. I think they make Godzilla look really fierce and sharp. And this is a good fighting Godzilla, but his sense of mass is just not there. He's too thin, and he's too humanoid looking. This just does not feel like Godzilla to me, you know? It's still Godzilla, but it's not quite. Even as a kid, I didn't really care for this design. I've grown much more fond of the film, but not so much this design. I don't know if this is gonna be a hot take right here, but this is just not for me. Here we have the Always Godzilla. This is one of the first of 3 Godzillas done by Takashi Yamazaki. And I don't know if he created this original design. It's based on the GMK Godzilla, so we already got bonus points right there. But I don't like the more rounded features. GMK Godzilla has like this square, boxy mouth. This is much more rounded. This is like if you took the -1 Godzilla and combined it with GMK Godzilla. I think it's still pretty good. I'm gonna give it a cautious B tier because it still looks good. He's got a good sense of mass. I just don't like his green coloration, and I think his skin design isn't quite there. I don't like the rounded mouth features, but you do see a lot of what's to come. Although in the case when this came out, it was quite a ways away. 2014. Finally, a great American Godzilla design. Not even just good. This is a great design. I think this is one of the best Godzillas ever. I'm gonna put this in S tier. Like, this is one of the best Godzillas, period. The face is phenomenal. Like, wow. Going for bears and bald eagles really just help. And the fact that this Godzilla is also still dinosaurian in nature also really helps. It's like this really fierce looking badass Godzilla. If there's one thing I don't like the dorsal fins. They look too generic. In hindsight, that makes them kind of unique for Godzilla, but I don't know. It's just not it. Give me my maple leaf designs. Had it had that, like, it'd be higher, but spoilers. I still think though, this is a great Godzilla design. He looks good from all angles except for his... I don't like these Godzilla back shots. Alright, Shin Godzilla time. I didn't put Form 1 because it's just the tail. And honestly, it looks like Kamada-kun's tail anyway. So, first form. But Kamada-kun, well, it's a Godzilla design, I think. But, I don't know. I don't really care for it. I know Kamada-kun is very popular, but I don't know. He's just not for me. I'm gonna put this in D tier. I don't even know where to put him here because this is just such a weird Godzilla design. Like, I don't know where to put him. He's both really cute but really goofy. I prefer Shin Godzilla. I'll actually put him in C tier because he's actually kind of got Godzilla's silhouette going, even with his stupid, pathetic little arms. But, you know, it looks pretty good. As for the actual Shin Godzilla himself, I love this design, but his proportions kill it. In profile, really good. At a 3/4 angle, very good. Front view, bad. The arms are too thin. I know that's a distinct feature, but I don't like his spindly arms. And his legs, what is going on here? Why are his thighs so bulbous, but his calves so painfully skinny? I can't buy this Godzilla upholding his posture. I like the actual feet, Godzilla's toes, ooh. But the legs themselves, I can't believe this Godzilla would be able to hold himself up. Apparently he can though, good for him. But my favorite thing about this Godzilla is the face. He is just terrifying. When it first got revealed, I thought it was a little too edgy, but you know what? It's grown on me. I don't know where I stand on this one because I really like it. Its proportions are what kill it for me. If he had better proportions, this would be S tier all the way. But I think I'm gonna put him in right here, A tier. A good solid A tier. As for the 5th form, this humanoid form, it's not really Godzilla, but it does look cool. Put it in C tier. Again, it's not Godzilla, it's something, it's spawned from Godzilla, Godzilla evolving. I don't know, but that thing does look metal as hell. Godzilla Filius, an anime trilogy Godzilla. I'll give Godzilla Filius like a good solid like C tier. I think it's okay. Very interesting they took inspiration from Godzilla 2014's design, but I think Godzilla Earth looks much better. Now this is a good Godzilla design. Where am I gonna put him? I'll put him in A tier, and I'll put this other version of him in A tier. I think like proportionally is very good. I like that this Godzilla is based on Mother Earth itself, very plant-like. He does reek of like a pathetic old creature though. It looks like a sad old man than like a fierce, intimidating dinosaur. And he also looks like he's got like a weird smile going on. But I really like this kind of design. I think this is a really unique, of the unique Godzillas, this one's more like one of my favorites. Even though it's still not quite my preferred Godzilla. Like, I'm not gonna put him like, oh, that's one of my best Godzillas ever. But you know what? I think it's pretty good. I like it. He's also a big boy. But a Godzilla I would put in one of my favorites. Ooh, 2019 Godzilla. Give me that boy. Put him in the S tier. Put him high up in S tier. Remember what I said about 2014? If they just gave him more iconic Godzilla features, he'd be perfect. This is it. This is it. The 1954 fins. I love it. His splayed out claws on his feet and his hands. Love it. I kind of missed the thinner tail, but the rounded Showa S tail is also really good. It just looks so good. With American Godzillas, we literally started from the bottom. Now we're here. And honestly, the Burning Godzilla, I'll put it in... This is kind of like... This is going to be weird. Because I'm going to put it in low A because I love the base design. And this is just the base design with like the burning orange features. But like, I don't really care for it that much. Like, if we're going to compare Burning Godzilla's 95 all the way, this isn't really bad. In fact, it kind of owes like to Godzilla Earth. But with the Godzilla Earth design, where he has like the glowing orange eyes like Burning Godzilla, like that helped make this stick out more. But here, this is just, it's okay. So I'll just, actually, you know what? I'm not really feeling it. I'm going to put it in B tier. I'm sorry, 2019 Burning Godzilla fans. I just think he's okay. Snow Godzilla. Apparently this and the Gemstone Godzilla are the same, or they come from the same. I don't know how true that is. I should do my research and find out. Extremely similar Godzilla. Okay, so I guess they are similar. But what do I think about this? I don't really have a feeling about it one way or the other. I mean, it's cool. It's Godzilla completely covered in snow, but spoilers, I don't care for the Gemstone Godzilla design, so I'm just gonna put this in low C. Good proportions, I suppose. He's unique. I don't really care much for him. And we got Godzilla from Godzilla vs. Kong, which is weird because he's not really any different from his 2019 version, so that's still gonna be S tier. Like, they really just didn't change the design at all, except add more glowing bits. That's because Godzilla vs. Kong had a tepid production cycle that fans are still not talking about nearly enough. Personal feelings aside, it's still the 2019 Godzilla. Still like the design. The way it's shot in Godzilla vs. Kong isn't as good as King of the Monsters. Sometimes it still looks really good. The extra glowy bits, fine. You know, cool, whatever. It's just perfunctory to put it here because I like the 2019 design. That's really it. The Godzilla, the Ride Godzilla. I don't really care for it. This is Yamazaki's second major Godzilla, and this is the one that would be further molded into the 2023 Godzilla. And, well, he's got a good sense of mass, but his head is so freaking small, and his fins are... Actually, I kind of like them. I kind of like them better than the -1 fins, but again, the proportions are just really out of whack, and his hands look weird. I mean, he still looks pretty solid, all things considered, but I don't especially care for it. I think I'm gonna put it, God, I mean, I like it more than the Snow Godzilla. I guess that's where it'll go. Oh boy, singular point. What were they thinking here? I'm sure there is an explanation. It's an explanation I don't know. But why are we giving other kaiju designs like Titanosaurus, Gorosaurus, and Varan to Godzilla? Why don't we just have Titanosaurus, Gorosaurus, and Varan? Like, what's going on here? What were they thinking? Then again, everything with singular point is just weird and bizarre, and not in a good way to me. I just don't really care. These are going down here. I don't really care for them. Are they well designed? Yeah, sure, for what they are, but again, I don't get it. As for Godzilla Ultima, I don't really care for him. Some shots he looks good and he looks dinosaurian, but his exaggerated proportions, like his legs and his head, like, what is that face? What is that? I don't like it. Apparently it's Shogun inspired. I could be wrong, but I never really cared much for Godzilla Singular Point to really know more information about it, although I should, so I'm not talking out of my ass. As it stands, this is just not a Godzilla I like. I like that he's more dinosaurian. I like his crazy long tail. Cool details, but this is just not for me. Gemstone Godzilla, like I said, I don't really care for. In fact, you know what? He's just ugly. I don't like him. He's ugly. I rather, at least Ultima has like a clean, sleek look. This Godzilla is just like ugly. And Snow Godzilla is cooler because he's just covered in snow. That's just how I'm gonna be. And no, the whole added white thing to him, it doesn't make him any better. I don't really care for him. Here we have the Monarch Godzilla, and I'm pretty sure this is still the King of the Monsters design. I know at one point in Monarch, they show a pre-2014 Godzilla where he's like kind of smaller, like 50 meters, and it's the 2014 design. But this is from like when he comes out of the sand, like in Mothra vs. Godzilla, but it's the King of the Monsters design. So, I mean, I'll just put it there, I suppose. All right, final boys. So here we have the Godzillasaurus from Godzilla -1, or the pre-mutated Godzilla. I really like this. This is like Godzillasaurus, but better. We don't see much of him, but what we do see, he's really scary and really intimidating. I'm gonna get him an A rank. Like, I really like this dinosaur Godzilla. And as for -1 Godzilla, it's like all the problems with Godzilla the Ride were mostly fixed. Godzilla looks better. His hands still look weird. Like, look at his claws. Like, why are they like that? But his head looks better and much more fierce and scary. The way he's shot really helps the design, because like the design as a whole isn't one of my favorites. I prefer to say the proportions on Shin Godzilla, but I still think his head is a bit too small. But again, when it's the way it's shot, the way he's shot, it's really good. It's really, really, really good. So we're gonna put him right here, just above Shin Godzilla. I wouldn't call him S tier. In terms of like detail, he looks really, really good. It's just those proportions. He's still a little too ill proportioned for my taste. And speaking of ill proportion, we have the 2024, the most current Godzilla as I'm making this video. Well, it's come to this. They finally changed Godzilla's Monsterverse design and changed it for the worse. I don't like this design. He is so proportionally awful. The head and neck are too scrunched up. The arms are too long. The legs are too long. His waist is now too thin. What is going on here? What happened to bro? They ruined my goat. Is there anything I like about this? Well, at least the face still looks good. A good face on a Godzilla means a lot. But wow, this is just... Well, where am I gonna put this guy? I don't know. Where will he go? Where will he go? He ain't gonna be up here. I really don't like this Godzilla. I'm gonna have to... Do I like Godzilla Ultima and Gemstone Godzilla more than him? Actually, Gemstone Godzilla, I'm gonna move his ass down more. I don't like him. Do I like 98 more than Gemstone Godzilla? Well, Gemstone Godzilla is more like an actual Godzilla. I'll put him there. This guy... God, I mean, I hate to end on such a dour note, but it's not like we've not had peak and then really good to okay to terrible. Like, this is the bottom of the barrel for me. Like right here, I feel pretty confident saying that these are my least favorite Godzillas. I don't know if how set I am on like these design rankings. This is just how I'm feeling right now. With Godzilla, he's got so many good designs. He's got many diverse designs. But I think right here, this is how I'm feeling right now. I almost want to put -1 as Shin Godzilla in S tier, because I do really like these designs. I really do. But like, I'm gonna prefer like the Cybot Godzilla to them at the same time. But let me know what you think. What are your favorite Godzillas? What are your least favorite Godzillas? Why don't you make a ranking video so I can watch it? Tell me how whacked out I am. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. And have a good rest of your day.